Welcome to our webinar in our August edition from InlineMarket, and our topic today is using your sales data for marketing optimization. I'm joined today by our founder, Niko Päivärinta. Welcome, Niko. My name is obviously Ari Heino, CEO of InlineMarket, and Niko is in charge of our R&D operations currently. So I will continue and begin with kind of going through some introductions and use cases for sales data analytics, and then Niko will take up after that and show you how to do these tricks in practice. We aim to take some 20 minutes altogether and leave some room for Q&As at the end of the presentation. The webinar recording will be available after the webinar, so you don't have to take notes and stuff. It's all going to be available online after the webinar. Without further ado, let's take a look at the introduction. A little bit about our company. We employ roughly 20 employees, some of them vendors working for a project, and half a dozen of our employees are directly employed in the office, operating from Kamppi in Helsinki. Professional services and platform solutions are the key areas of business that we do. Professional services in Azure cloud environment, and then platform solutions like the marketing and sales data platform that we are discussing today as another business area of ours. A Microsoft partner, HubSpot partner, some other partnerships, not dependent on any particular technology. We are kind of technology agnostics in that sense. Some of our clients are listed there as well. Talking a little bit about the sales and marketing data platform that I just mentioned, our kind of key core competence comes from delivering the AI and predictive analytics on top of other solutions, exploiting, for example, CRM sales data that we are discussing today, for scoring sales opportunities in the sales pipeline, lead scoring for marketing, and ideal customer profiling for targeting right customer prospects. In addition to that, we deliver dashboards and reporting views, kind of combining marketing and sales KPIs, making sure that sales and marketing have a clear understanding and view over the entire customer acquisition process in the company. And since our platform is ready with different kinds of integrations of main sales, CRM, and marketing and automation platforms and channels, we also kind of make sure that the client has a good solution for data warehousing, not delivering actual data warehousing solutions, but through our solution, our platform, you have a readiness to actually start building your data warehousing as well. So that's a little bit about our company and kind of our platform solution. I'll go through a couple of use cases just quickly, so before I hand over to Niko. Using this kind of an sales data, one obvious customer case is looking at who are your ideal customers. How can we profile the ideal customers? And that's kind of like a main reasons for doing this is that it's really easy to win revenue from our current customers compared to hunting for new customers. And we also have found out that this kind of a shotgun approach is no longer really valid. You have to really know your customers to deliver right messages at right time to all of your target customers. So, and once you identify your ideal customers, you are also much more able to determine what is the size of my market, the potential market that I'm aiming for, which is also really key benefit of doing this kind of analysis. Niko will go through some of the details and explain a little bit more how this is actually done in practice. But the first step obviously is look at your existing customers in your CRM system. But I don't want to go ahead of things. I'll leave that to Niko in his part. Second use case that I wanted to bring up is marketing lead scoring. kind of like a stuff that really is valuable for improving your sales and marketing alignment, so you understand what type of prospects are more likely to convert, and so you can create and target your marketing activities more precisely to your right target audience. Helps you to increase your revenue, identifying which marketing efforts are driving the qualified leads in the best way. It helps you to segment and communicate to those target audiences based on how ready they are to kind of buy from you. And it really helps your sales efforts and time management so that you can be more proficient and more efficient in your operations. Again, the first step is in lead scoring, as well as looking at your ideal customers, is to analyze your sales data in your CRM in a more detailed way. And that's really a good point to leave you to Nico's capable hands and start looking at how you actually do these things in practice. So Nico, you're welcome.
Okay, thank you, and welcome on my behalf as well. So let's start looking at a little bit bigger picture. So thinking of customer acquisition, what is the kind of main topic for the usage of the data? So we have a big funnel of different data sources are the very typical. We have the marketing platforms, LinkedIn, especially in B2B. We have our own websites, landing pages, assets like that. We have the marketing automation, and then whether the visitor is known or unknown, we also can collect through the Google Analytics or HubSpot or similar the user behavior on our assets, how people are reflecting on our marketing and sales messages and all that. And then once we have created leads, then of course in the picture we can add additional data sets. So what is our sales force doing related to the customer opportunities, leads? We can enrich the data behind it. So we have a certain company, so we can look additional data points, especially regarding the economical information, and bring additional firmographics to the play. So all in all, we have quite a few different data sets with different sources, with different maturities on the data. So that's the kind of background. So this is what we have. And now today the question was more like that, hey, we have a sales related data, we have marketing related data, how we can benefit from the sales related data for the marketing. And it's typical in marketing, we have we want to create some awareness, and to be on the tactical side, we want to create some leads. And lead creation, of course, we want to have some sort of personas or target audiences or micro segments we want to target to share our kind of messages, our content, and any input helping in this process, that what channel works, what kind of content works, what are the right audiences, that's beneficial, and that's something you can draw from the sales data. And here we have a couple of the questions related to the whole funnel, scoring leads, optimizing marketing campaigns, and identify the right kind of companies, and so forth. So Ari gave a couple of use cases, and next I will kind of drill down a little bit on those on a relatively high level still. But here we have a funnel. This is sliced based on the stages. So of course, early in the funnel, we have the ideal customer profiles, target audiences we want to target to, and then they go along the pipeline. Eventually, they turn to customer, and eventually even loyal customers. So now, in this exercise, you can use your customer data and or even a kind of sales pipeline data to kind of copy the DNA of the perfect customer to early stages of your customer acquisition. And loyal customers, that's of course one customer group, but you might initiate a new service, new market, new something, and these loyal customers not necessarily reflect on that so well. So in that sense, you can definitely use kind of sales pipeline data as well in order to identify or define ideal customer profiles. Because the assumption is, of course, the longer the pipeline the company or lead is, the more relevant it should be, and this is something you can pull back from the best customers with this black arrow to the reusing the DNA of best customer in the target audiences. And there are several ways to do it, but here are some simplified steps how you can do it. So of course you can use the customer management system, customer relationship management system, whatever systems you have related to your ideal customers. And then you can take that data. In itself, it's probably not that reusable for the marketing operations perspective, but we can get back to that. But first of all, you can enrich your customer data with the firmographics. You can bring other attributes to your data and make it more rich. Simple examples are profitability, how profitable this company is, maybe additional labeling about the industry or certain characteristics of the companies. That of course can be also enriched. And then you can use this enriched data to identify that, hey, what kind of values these attributes needs to have, which are representing the ideal customer for us. And once you have this, as it's called DNA here, once you have this DNA, then you can use it back in marketing, whether it's kind of marketing on the platforms or doing a typical prospecting through the outbound activities, such as booking into B2B. And here as well, it's not kind of one segment. Typically you have, here we had used the decision tree to identify what kind of customer segments. In this example, visualized in this picture, we have 6 different segments, and all these can apply for the marketing operations use case that, hey, here are the DNA of the companies we want to approach. Please use this data for it. Moving on, then we had other use case, lead scoring, and so once we have done some tactical marketing campaigns and generated leads. So instead of saying that, okay, this is a lead, we can use the historical data to score it, how good the lead is. Of course, in this case, it's very early on about the customer life, becoming a customer, or very early on in the customer acquisition funnel. So isn't that much data related because our sales activities has not really started. But all in all, the same thing we show on the earlier slide about the background data. So all the Google Analytics data, marketing automation data, data enrichment from the third parties, the firmographics. All these can be applied while we are scoring these leads. And here we would use kind of machine learning, and which means that we take historical data, we look at that, hey, what kind of leads we have had earlier, how these leads has turned to customers or prospecting customers, and there we have a kind of benchmark. So these kind of leads or these kind of attributes on the leads makes it more likely that they are good leads, and makes it more likely that that the sales team should focus on working on these. But this is a classical machine learning exercise where you use the historical data to teach the model, and then of course part of the historical data is put on the side as for the verification that, hey, we want to validate the model, that how well it scores. We can also see that what kind of attributes are impacting for the score, so it's not a black box, and how big is the impact per each attribute. So I think this is this kind of a next level of lead scoring, so that you can use additional data sets for scoring, plus a little bit advanced methods to bring the score for the lead. And this is more like a one-time exercise to do it, to make sure that the data is flowing. We have already a platform for it, and then for each customer we teach the model, and once the model starts to run, it's of course re-educates itself. The more the data, the higher the accuracy. But yeah, this is other example, and once we can score the leads, so the marketing can then provide better qualified leads for the sales to jump on. Good. I think our 20 minutes is more or less used. I think this was valuable. If you want to learn more about this, please be in touch. We are happy to explain these more in detail, and maybe take a look of your situation, that how easily we could deploy these kind of approaches for your benefit. And this is not all. We are happy to answer some questions. Please use the chat for any questions if you have. Well, clearly it was so self-evident what we were saying, that no additional answers needed. So yeah, big thanks from my side. We're gonna have another webinar in 4 weeks, a little bit similar topic. Then we are not focusing that much on operational thing, but more on the analytics, and the sales data and marketing ROI is the working topic for next month's webinar.